Hey everyone, it's technology expert Burton Kelso here with another tech tip to help you get the most out of the technology in your life. Today we're talking about Threads, the new Meta app, which is a part of Instagram that is the Twitter killer. Now, Threads was released a couple of days ago, actually on July 6th, I believe, but in that period of time, at least 40 million people have downloaded the app and have used it because of all of the issues with Twitter. Now, unless you've been hiding in a cave, you realize Twitter is pretty much now a paid social media application, meaning that in order to use a lot of features with Twitter, you have to pay like the blue check mark and then how many tweets you can read in a specific day. It's become challenging for people who yearn for a text-based social media platform, which is why Meta released Threads. Now, let's talk about how do you get Threads. So first, let's take a look at the App Store. This is an iPhone, but the good thing about Threads is that it's available for both iPhone and Android devices. It's pretty simple. Visit the Google Play Store if you're an Android user, or the Apple App Store if you're an Apple user, and download the app to your device. As you can see on my smartphone, I've already downloaded Threads, so let's go ahead and this is kind of a challenge because I'm using my phone as screen share, and go over to Threads. Once you're in Threads, you can see some of the differences in Threads versus, say, Twitter. But it has a very familiar interface because if you look at the bottom portion of the screen, it kind of looks like Instagram. And it is integrated with Instagram because, as you can see, at the very top right-hand corner where my mouse is, you can definitely click on the Instagram app, and lo and behold, it takes you to Instagram. And if you look at the upper left-hand corner, there's a place that'll take you back to Threads, and you're back in the Threads interface. Now, I was originally going to talk about the differences between Twitter and Threads, but let's do that, and then we'll jump in on how the app works. So, number one, one of the main differences between Threads and Twitter is the fact that Twitter only has a 250 character limit, whereas Threads has a 500 character limit, which is roughly, that's a little bit more than twice of what Twitter has, but it allows you to be more expressive as far as what you want to say on the social media platform. Now, as far as items that you can post to Twitter, correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section, but I think it's 6 items that you can choose with Twitter that you can attach to your tweet, whereas with Threads, you can attach up to 10 items, photos, and videos. Now, like Twitter, you can add web links in Threads, which allows people to go to websites that you post in your Thread feed. Another difference is that there are no direct messages currently in Threads. All the conversation that you're going to have with people is with messaging within the feed of Threads. But if you wanted to get someone's attention in Threads, you can definitely tag them in a post, which is obviously standard with most social media accounts. But one of the things that people like about Threads is the simple fact that you don't have a direct messenger, so there's no way for spammers to contact you with spam messages and direct message, which sometimes leads to cybercrimes, and that's kind of a good thing, right? And then finally, it is integrated into Instagram like I showed you before. So going back to the app, there's the Instagram icon, and if you look at some of the settings, which we'll take a look at in a few seconds, you can see that some of the settings actually do have an effect on both Threads and Twitter. Now, not Twitter, but Threads and Instagram. Now, let's take a look at some of the icons on the main screen so that you can get familiar with where all of the things are located. So let's go back to my smartphone and let's take a look at the upper left-hand corner of the screen where you have the globe. Once you click on a globe, it takes you into the privacy settings for Threads. Now, as far as tagging, which I mentioned before, you can modify who tags you in the post. You can change it from everyone, profiles you know, or no one. So if you wanting to keep an edge of privacy with your Threads account, you definitely can do that with the privacy section or the privacy menu. Next, you can make your profile private by hitting the switch. And a private profile means that you have to direct people or know what your Threads URL is in order to get people to find your account. In many social media situations, people are making their accounts private so that cyber criminals can't locate them and attempt to scam them. You can also go through and look at profiles that you have muted on Threads, which you can do in social media, and I haven't muted anybody. But muting is the act of going to someone's social media account that you're tired of hearing from, and you can mute their account, which means you're still connected with the person, but it means that you aren't seeing any of their interactions, whether it be with feeds on your, well, I should say it would be only feeds in Threads. Now with Instagram, it would be feeds, your reels, and your stories. But with muted on Threads, it's only there. Now, an interesting aspect of that is, of Threads, is the hidden words feature, which I just clicked on. You can turn offensive words on, or you can turn it off. So if you don't want any offensive comment or commentary in your Threads feed, you can definitely do that. And then you can also add custom words and phrases as well to modify it so that if there's any particular words that you don't want to see, you can hide those as well. You can also look under privacy, profiles you follow, and this takes you to a section where you can see who you are following, and then you can choose to unfollow those people as well. Now there's another section where you can get to unfollow or profiles you unfollow, and we'll go into that in a minute. Now also there's features for blocked profiles, which you just straight out blocking someone and they know it. And then you can hide likes too, which kind of doesn't really, I was thinking the purpose of that. If you want to hide likes, you can hide likes of people who like your profile in order to keep more of a private identity when you're using Threads app on your smartphone. Now, going back to the main interface for Threads, or the main screen, we're going to check out the right side of the menu so that you can look at some of the more features. Now, under settings, you can go to follow and invite friends, which gives you the option initially to invite all of your Instagram friends to Threads. You also have the option to invite your friends from WhatsApp, invite by text message, or you can choose other methods to invite friends using your phone's communication portal. Now there's notification settings that you can change. You can pause them all. You can look at threads and replies, and you can see followers and following. Now, one of my recommendations for notifications is to turn those off. Those notifications can get annoying when they're popping up on your smartphone. So if you don't want to have FOMO, or fear of missing out, when using Threads, you might want to turn those notifications off and look at Threads in your leisure, or if you need to be alerted about that latest thread, make sure you turn on notifications. Now, another option to look at under settings is privacy. And as you can see, most social media accounts are looking at privacy features, and this is just another way to get into the privacy menu, which that I showed earlier. If you go back, you can either go to privacy settings under settings, or there's a big privacy button in the left hand corner, which will take you directly to your privacy settings. So you've got it in two locations. Now let's look at account. If you go to account, there's other things that you can do to your account, like take a break. Let's see, take a break to from Threads, never, every 30 minutes, every 10 minutes. This is to cut down. Oh, I'm like, let's show that desktop so that you can see that. And go back here. There we go. So there, if you go under account settings, which we are, and hit the account, you can take a break from threads, which is there. You can deactivate your profile. Now, you can deactivate your profile with threads, and all of your information will be hidden. But keep in mind with threads, since it's intertwined with Instagram, if you delete your threads account, it's also going to take out your Instagram account. So beware before you sign up for threads if you really want it to be integrated with Instagram. Now, going back to our account settings, there's supervision, security, account status, and each one of these, as you can see, almost takes you back to Instagram. Let's get off that page with Luther. But that's what those links are there for, if you notice that off to the right-hand side of the screen. These actually intertwine with Instagram. So you can look at your account information, download your status, transfer your information, change your language, security, supervision, and personal information. And again, this all ties into Instagram. So keep those settings in mind when you are looking at changing settings that affect only threads, or look at settings that affect Instagram as well. Now we're going to take a look at the bottom portion of the screen so that you can get an idea of threads and how it's going to do its thing. Going to the bottom portion of the screen, as you can see, it almost looks like Instagram. You've got your home screen, which is showing you the latest feeds that are in your thread. Now I want you to take a look at this section right here. Like Twitter does, it will show you, if you're looking at your feed, if new things have come in. If you wanted to look at that, you just click on the up arrow, and then it will let you see everything that's coming in about in your threads feed. And look at this, everyone's talking about threads and how to use it. How apropos. But it's important to know, as far as using the threads account, it still has that Twitter feel to it, even though it's got that Instagram layout. It's almost like Twitter and Instagram had a little baby. And I think that interface is there to help people who have used Instagram and want to use threads get a little used to using the application. Same thing with people that have used Instagram. So looking at the next section down here where the magnifying glass is, this is where you can do a search for specific people. Now with threads, your search is going to bring up people that it suggests you follow, such as those with the blue check marks. But if you type in any user's name, if you know their thread's name, it will pull them up, and then you have the option to follow them or to look at their profile. We're going to look at Gordon Ramsay real quick and give you an idea. So of course, one of my favorite memes, what are you, is an idiot sandwich. You can see some of the interactions that's going on with Gordon Ramsay. If you look at Gordon Ramsay's account, you can follow Gordo, which I'll do here. You can also love his posts like you would on Instagram. You can also click and reply with a comment. You can also click on the paperclip here, which will allow you to add photos or videos to your threads feed. Now going back, you can hit the back button, which I did here. And now we're going to go to how to actually start a thread. What you would do to start a thread is to type something in like, how is every, if I could spell right, and it's got autocorrect. So how is everyone doing today? And then once you hit post, it'll post a thread. Again, you can add a paperclip and add a photo from your photo reel into your thread, and then you can post it, and people obviously, hopefully, will post back. And let's cancel that. Now, if you click on the heart, it gives you the activity of everything that you've done on threads. You can look at all activity of what you have interacted with hearts, or likes, I should say. You can also go to the top here and click on replies and see replies that you've made on specific people's posts. And then you can also go to mentions, which where people have mentioned you in a thread post. And as you can see here, no one loves me. So there are no mentions at all. And then finally, there's verified, where people that you interact with who have verified accounts, you can definitely check them out and see what's going on. And finally, our last screen just takes us back to our layout screen, or your main profile screen, where we've looked at privacy, we've looked at the link to Instagram, and of course we looked at the menu settings that will allow us to make change to our Threads account. And you can edit your profile, because sometimes if you bring in your profile for Instagram, which is an option, it may not bring in everything that you want, which is a good idea to go in and edit it if you want to make any specific changes when you're using the Threads app. Let's cancel out of that. And then we can also share our profile. I don't know why I clicked on the mouse. And then there's different ways that we can share our profile with our friends using the different methods that I shared before. So that, my friends, is Threads in a nutshell. Kind of give you an idea of how it's laid out. Now the real question is Threads safe? So Threads is going to use the same privacy laws as Meta products such as WhatsApp, Facebook, and Instagram, which means when you download the app onto your device and agree to use it, you're agreeing to share your information on your smartphone with Meta. Now, you can go into your smartphone and turn off privacy settings for Threads in order to limit some of that. But overall, like any social media account, if you sign up, there's going to be chances that they're looking at the information on there. Another safety issue that is currently going on with Threads is, well, I should say their lack therefore of, is no bots are on the Threads app as of yet. You know they're coming, because cyber criminals always go where it's popular. So if you were to use the app right now, you're probably not going to see any bots on the app. Like looking at my smartphone now, trying to reconnect it. But other than cloned accounts or any of the nonsense that you deal with Instagram and Facebook, hasn't happened as of yet on Threads. But that's not to say that it won't happen, because all it takes for someone to create a duplicate Threads account is for them to get your login information from Instagram and Facebook and create a Threads account. One of the things that I wanted to show on Threads is, let's see if it will allow you, if it will do it for me. Let's go to Threads, the actual thread, and not the replies. And we're going to take a look at my current post for the day. But let's see here. One of the things that I was looking for was, you also, like Instagram and Facebook, get the option or the link that will suggest people to you. Kind of a phishing thing, but not really. So you will get those suggestions up there. That is not a cyber breach or a data breach at all. So keep that in mind. Now, in closing, I want to say what you think the future of Threads is, or I will actually say it for you. Unlike Clubhouse or other social media apps that have come and gone, Threads is probably here to stay, because it's sponsored by a major social media company. Twitter is kind of down on the ropes, so Threads will be a good substitute for Twitter for those who like the layout of Twitter. I'm trying to think of other social media apps that have come and gone. There's a ton, but one of the features that I can bring up that kind of came and went was IGTV. It was supposed to be the YouTube killer, but because of supply and demand, it's no longer an option. So I think Threads will be around. Let's kind of wait and see what's going to happen with the future of Threads. So with that said, if you've got comments or questions or anything to say about Threads, leave them in the comment section below. I'd love to hear from you to find out what you think of Threads and how you think it should work. And speaking of which, when it comes to all social media, I want to remind you, if you're looking at Threads for business purposes, you want to make sure that you keep the human aspect in your social media posts. Make sure that you're not advertising, especially Threads is not there yet as far as people posting things about their business. You want to brand yourself in your layout or your main screen, letting people know what it is that you do, but always be friendly and always provide value in your post, whether it be inspirational or tips or tricks that will help people get the most out of their lives. Now, I would love if you would leave a comment, like this video, or share it with your friends, because I know there's people out there that probably have questions about Threads and want to know if it is for them. So with every video I make, my goal is to help you get the most out of the technology devices you use and at home and at work. I love technology. I've read all the manuals and I'm serious about making technology fun, safe, and easy to use for everyone. So take care of yourself and do many things to make you smile, and thanks for watching.